Crime families, cartels, and underground empires may dominate the world of TV drama, but behind every criminal empire stands one thing: a leader willing to do whatever it takes to hold on to power. Some rule with fear, some rule with intelligence, some rule with blood and brutality. Today, we're going deep into the criminal underworld to rank TV's deadliest individual mob bosses, not by wealth, not by influence, but by the thing that truly matters in the world of crime: how deadly they were and how far they would go to stay on top. From calculated mafia dons to cartel monsters who turn cities into graveyards, from cold, quiet killers to charismatic devils who could smile while ordering your death. This is the definitive list. Welcome to TV's deadliest individual mob bosses. Stringer Bell wasn't the most violent leader on this list, but he was one of the most dangerous. Why? Because he brought corporate thinking to the drug game. Stringer wanted the Barksdale organization to stop being a street outfit and start becoming a business corporation. Business classes, investment portfolios, boardroom strategies used for street warfare. What made him deadly was not rage, but calculated efficiency. You crossed Stringer, and you disappeared. Quietly, professionally, permanently. His downfall came when he underestimated men who lived and died by the codes he tried to escape. No matter how smart you are, in the streets, someone is always aiming from below. Frank Costello was the Prime Minister of the underworld. Calm, diplomatic, and always smiling. But make no mistake, under that smooth exterior lived a man capable of ordering death as casually as ordering lunch. He played the long game: alliances, political influence, judges, cops, politicians, all in his pocket. Costello didn't rule with fear. He ruled with the understanding that he was too powerful to fight. And that's what made him deadly. Few mob bosses in TV history are as chillingly calm as Gustavo Fring. To the DEA, he was a polite, generous businessman. To the cartel, he was a chemical hurricane that blew through entire cities. He didn't shout, he didn't rage, he didn't get angry. He planned. If you betrayed him, he wouldn't kill you tomorrow. He'd wait a year. He'd study you. He'd destroy everything you love first. The worst part? Most people didn't realize he was the threat until they were already dead. Wilson Fisk is what happens when raw power, intelligence, and emotional trauma form the perfect mob boss. He doesn't rule the criminal underworld of New York because he's the biggest. He rules because he's the most determined. He can crush a man's skull with his bare hands and then give a heartfelt speech about rebuilding the city. To Fisk, crime isn't crime. It's urban development through force. His only weakness? He takes things personally. Very personally. If Stringer Bell was brains, Marlo Stanfield was pure, unfiltered blood and intimidation. No feelings, no hesitation, no weakness. Marlo created an empire not through negotiation, but through fear, sending men like Chris and Snoop to erase entire corners of Baltimore. To Marlo, the only thing that mattered was the crown. One of the most chilling lines in TV history came from him. "My name is my name." 4 words that defined a man who would rather burn the city down than lose respect. Tony Soprano wasn't just a mob boss. He was a complex study of power, trauma, and violence. He loved his family. He had panic attacks. He cared about ducks. But that didn't stop him from having friends strangled, relatives whacked, and rivals sent to early graves whenever they stood in his way. Tony reminded us of a hard truth. You can be human and still be deadly. In the end, Tony wasn't the biggest monster in the mob. He was just the one who could live with the choices. If the cartel is a kingdom, then Don Eladio is the king sitting on a mountain of bodies. Smooth, charismatic, untouchable. Don Eladio ruled the Mexican cartel with a simple philosophy: respect me or die. Unlike the hot-headed killers beneath him, Eladio didn't need to raise his voice or dirty his hands. His real power came from absolute control, the kind where men like Hector Salamanca and Juan Bolsa bowed at his feet. He was responsible for drug empires wiped out overnight, decades of bloodshed across 2 countries, and yet he always maintained the demeanor of a wealthy businessman hosting a pool party. That's what made him so terrifying. He killed with zero emotional investment. To Don Eladio, murder wasn't personal. It was an executive decision. His eventual downfall only proved one thing: when you sit at the top of the cartel food chain, someone is always plotting your last sip of tequila. Nucky wasn't born into power. He built it. Politicians, bootleggers, assassins, everybody danced when he pulled the strings. What made him deadly was that he understood both forms of warfare: blood, politics. He could order a kill at night and shake the mayor's hand at breakfast. Nucky proved that the deadliest mob bosses don't need guns, just control. Jax didn't start as a villain, but power changes everything. The biker prince of Sam Crow turned from idealist to executioner as he realized that crime isn't about survival. It's about dominating the chaos. Every person who tried to challenge him, rival gangs, Irish kings, corrupt lawmen, his own brothers, all ended up in graves. Jax became the thing he once hated, and that transformation is what made him terrifying. No TV mob boss was more realistically terrifying than Pablo Escobar, because he wasn't fiction. Politicians assassinated, judges blown up, entire cities held hostage, a country forced to its knees. Escobar made himself a god in real life and a monster in the world of TV storytelling. What made him the deadliest wasn't just the body count. It was the belief that he was entitled to rule, and anyone who disagreed deserved death. There were bigger empires, but none ruled by one man with this much raw, unchecked power. Crime families rise, empires fall, and in every generation new monsters take the throne. But the truth remains the same. In the underworld, the deadliest man is the one who believes that power justifies anything. These mob bosses weren't just criminals, they were legends, symbols of what happens when ambition and violence meet without limits. If you want more deep dives into the dark side of TV and film storytelling, then hit that subscribe button. There are many more villains still to explore. Until next time, stay sharp, stay aware, and never underestimate the person giving the orders.